Hospitality and tourism responsible for almost 10% of all employment in Michigan. In 2019, 124 million people visited Michigan, creating $26 billion in tourism revenue. Now, the hospitality and tourism groups in Michigan are joining forces to make sure that the industry continues to recover from the devastating effects of the pandemic, but also continues healthy growth. To get more on this, we go to Justin Winslow, President and CEO of the Michigan Restaurant and Lodging Association. Hi, Justin. We love talking to you about tourism.
Marie, it's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
So tell us about this new alliance between the hospitality and tourism sectors in Michigan.
Well, we are 12 groups and growing. I think there's a lot of interest. The more that word of the alliance gets out, standing together, hopefully breaking down silos and collaborating on a lot of issues long term. But the issue that's bringing us together and unifying us in the short term is Pure Michigan funding, what its future is going to be, and how we can help shape it in a positive way.
So we gave just a little thumbnail sketch there of the kind of impact tourism has on the state. And it's just so important that we have a healthy tourism industry in Michigan. That goes without saying. But as I thought about this, I realized, the automotive industry, even the agriculture industry, there's a product, there's something that you see. But with, and so you can see why your dollar investment is so important in those industries. But it's not like that for tourism because there's not a product, there's not something that I can see. So that makes it very difficult to set about to get the funding that you need.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it's less obvious and tangible in front of you unless you're on a vacation and seen it before you. But this is why it's, I think, a little easier to take this industry for granted and just assume that the massive economic input that it delivers for the state of Michigan and to about 500,000 employees can just always happen without anything needing to happen to
Right.
push that forward and grow it. And that just hasn't been the case.
All right, so you're trying to make sure and ensure that Pure Michigan gets the kind of funding that it needs. Where are you going to start?
Well, I think this is a big start today. We've seen a retraction in the funding of this campaign, and a campaign that, listen, I work with a lot of my colleagues in other states around the country. They are all jealous of the Pure Michigan campaign. It is the gold standard. It is the best. They wish they had campaigns this good. And it's shocking to them to see that we've gone backwards in funding, that we're one of the lowest funded states, certainly in our region this year at only $15 million. And that's leaving money on the table for Michigan. To give you a sense, right now we're producing $3.2 billion in state and local tax revenue from this industry. But there's clear data that suggests that over $11 is coming in tax revenue for every dollar we invest. There's a real chance to grow state tax revenue to fund a lot of things that we all need and want, right? Better schools, good roads, public safety, all of those things, if we're going to make the investment in this industry.
So 11 to 1, that's the return on the investment in tax.
Pretty good
dollars.
ROI, right?
I was just going to say, if we were talking about anything else, let's just say, shoes. Shoes. If we get into the shoe industry, we'd be all making shoes, I think, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so it's just this idea that it's important to, and I think probably what you're after here with your organization is that you begin to bring that understanding to every Michigan resident and how important this is. So how will all this help those who actually provide the hospitality to visitors or are the destinations for visitors? How do you think this is going to help? Because I know there's, I'll ask you a follow up here, but there are some hiccups in the system here. So how will this help these industries, specifically the people who actually deliver the services?
Yeah, they rely on it, right? We have an infrastructure that has been built up for something that is substantial. I think we're still a long way from the ceiling, but there's a lot of jobs at stake, and Pure Michigan is the consistent and reliable reminder to those across the country and really around the world, and at least in select markets, of why they should be coming here. They've got a lot of choices and options. Why should they be choosing Michigan? And we need to make that option clear and put it before people around the world, because there's a lot of responsibility, a lot of responsibility we have at home to the people working in this in this industry and the job providers that are here doing it.
When we talk about the people who are working in the industry, I hope you can, I mean, if you can't answer this, it's okay. I just wanted to ask you about this because I'm a longtime Michigan vacationer and traveler and been to almost every corner of the state and just a big cheerleader for the state, that's for sure. But I keep hearing in the last few years, especially in the last 4 or 5 years, the difficulty that hotels, restaurants, all kinds of places are having finding people to work in their facilities. And also, in some of these areas, the workers you're bringing in to work in your, let's say, restaurant, they can't afford to live in the areas that they're working in because the costs are so high. Is the organization going to be working with those thorny issues?
I think those are critical and something this association, Michigan Restaurant and Lodging Association, is tackling. Where we could probably have a 2-hour show tackling some of these issues.
Yeah.
But the short summary would be, I think we have struggled in the wake of the pandemic to bring back some of those who were lost during the closure, who found jobs in other industries. We're trying to use some funding right now to grow a training institute, the Hospitality Training Institute of Michigan, to recruit and bring back and provide a real opportunity for growth through certification and opportunity long term in this industry. We have to make that case to the workforce to come back. But I will tell you that this industry is outpacing the economy overall in wage inflation over the last few years, and that is a product of supply and demand right there. So you're seeing pretty big increases in wages in this industry to try to bring some of that workforce back.
Give us some good news that's happening from the tourism industry, other than it's February and the Michigan tourism season's really going to gear up in a couple of months here. Well, and I know in some parts of the state, certainly with skiing and all that, it's full speed ahead. But give me some good news that we can talk about in tourism.
I was going to say, just the fact that we've had some snow on the ground in recent weeks has been welcome news to our winter tourism season and those with ski resorts. But we've seen Mackinac Island consistently be recognized as the premier travel destination in the country by numerous sources over the last couple of years. Traverse City continues to be a destination for more and more people from outside of Michigan as well. And there are 24 other gems that we could go into at some point here and talk about. There's a lot of positive things happening in this industry, but I think we need the Pure Michigan campaign to continue the kind of positive trend lines we've had.
I'll be honest with you, it's a real head scratcher to me about on this one. I just don't understand why. Maybe because I understand the medium, the advertising medium better than a lot of other people do. But when you've got something that's literally magic and that it's bringing people to your door, that would be the time that you would continue to fund that kind of program. I mean, and as you said, other tourism bureaus around the country are envious of what we have here in Michigan in terms of that campaign and its ability to bring people in.
100% true. There's been a real focus lately, and justifiably so, on talent recruitment as a way to grow this state into the future, and we agree with that. I just don't think investment in support of that side of the equation is mutually exclusive with this industry, with travel and tourism, because really it all starts with a visit, and from there, the vision for maybe a future business, maybe moving to Michigan because you saw some of its amazing beaches. All of that starts with a visit. And so I think we need to work together to make sure we're all helping rise this industry up, because I think that's a key pathway for the state overall to find a better future.
Absolutely. Justin Winslow, we're so glad you spent a few minutes here to talk with us today about this new alliance. Justin, of course, the president and the CEO of the Michigan Restaurant and Lodging Association. Thank you, Justin. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much, Marie.